Hey, Sunday School Leadership, it's Jeff, your fearless leader, and I just wanted to take a second to share with you some information about our church that's going to be important for our Sunday School year next year, and really important for you as a family as you start to worship in worship services. You may have already heard some stuff coming down through conversations, but I just wanted to share with you before the rest of the congregation started to find out about just some really great changes that are happening in our church. One of the changes that's going to be happening is that we are shortening our church services in the fall from an hour and 15 minutes to an hour. Since Bruce doesn't preach as long as previous pastors, we just feel the need that let's compact the service and make it sweet and simple and compact, and really do a lot more in that time. So that's a really great opportunity for us to shorten the services. So that's one thing, an hour service, and that'll look a little bit different as well. The second thing that's going to happen is because we're shortening from an hour, we're going to be shifting some times that we do things. So instead of 8 o'clock, 9:15, and 10:45, the church is going to have 8:30, 9:45, and 11. Let me repeat that. That's 8:30, 9:45, and 11. We look at those things, one, because when somebody who is unchurched thinks about coming to church, they will come to a 11 o'clock service. And so that's what we're looking to do, is to take that and to work ourselves back an hour for service and 15 minutes of travel time. And here's the third change that's going to happen in the fall, is that there will no longer be an 8 o'clock, or in the fall an 8:30 service. That first 8:30 hour is just going to be for Sunday school, because we are adding a fourth service during the 11 o'clock hour, during the third worship service time. In essence, the fall, there will be a worship service, a contemporary worship service in the fellowship hall at 9:45 and at 11. We're busting out in the living room service in the fellowship hall and needed some more space, and so Bruce is going to preach a second service at 11 o'clock. As well as we'll continue to have the two worship services in the worship center. Now, just to give you a heads up, those worship services in the worship center will have a little bit different feel. The 9:45 worship service will kind of have more of a classic feel, be more hymn-based, kind of more stuff that you grew up on. That'll be the 9:45 worship center service. At 11 o'clock, the worship center service will have more of a contemporary feel. It'll be more laid back. The choir will probably not have robes. Troy will probably not be wearing a suit. It'll have more of a blended service between the classic and the contemporary. So our goal in that is to set forth an opportunity for us to reach out to young adults and to young families by adding another contemporary service, but also offering something for everybody at different hours. Now, that's going to impact you in one of two different ways. One is if you decide to teach with us next year, just to let you know that it'll be 8:30, 9:45, and 11. But the hour that you teach, or you may desire to teach, may be affected by the hour that you choose to worship with your family. And so my encouragement and my desire for you is that you would go home and talk to your family and decide which one of those services is best. That 9:45, is it the classic worship service in the worship center, or is it the contemporary service in the fellowship hall? Or you may choose to worship at 11 o'clock, which is in the worship center, a contemporary service, or in the fellowship hall, another contemporary service. So, in the worship center, a blended service, and then in the fellowship hall, a contemporary service. And it's those options that you need to think through and then decide which Sunday school hour is best for me and my family. So some of you, that may not change. This may not affect any of you, but I wanted you to have that information as we start to look to recruit next year, and as we start to plan as a church. And if you would help kind of keep this conversation low until Bruce starts to unfold this master plan, that would be awesome. And once again, if I haven't told you enough, thanks for volunteering with us and for giving of your time and teaching Sunday school. And we will probably not see a lot of the harvest and a lot of impact of students' lives, but I know that we are setting a foundation for them in the future that's going to be one that they'll continue to grow on and build on as they mature as Christians. Thanks again for what you do, and we'll see you next Sunday.